Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. My name is Sebastian Echeverry. I'm a reporter with the Long Beach Post. And I'm joined by Tito Rodriguez, or also known as the Hood Santa. He also is the founder of the Local Hearts Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization that does a lot of philanthropy type work in the communities and assists low-income families or people that are struggling health or money-wise. So Tito, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks, Sebastian. Thanks to the Long Beach Post for having me on the platform here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So I think to open it up here is where did Hood Santa come from? Can you kind of give us a bit of an origin story?
Okay, so, I started giving back in the city of Long Beach, right, about 10, 11 years ago. And then the second year into it, my buddy HJ says, "Hey, Tito, you should buy a Santa suit or something, because we're just kind of jumping out on people." And before I get to that part, so we were just riding around Long Beach with a car full of toys, Diamond Supply, skateboards, hats, shoes, just a bunch of stuff that was given to me, right? Donated. And we jumped out on a family, on a guy, on a young black guy, right? Who was pushing his daughter. And he started running. He thought we were going to attack him, or he thought we were a gang. I don't know what he thought. So we said, hey, chill out, chill out. We want to give you some stuff. We got some water, some shoes, some Diamond Supply. And he stopped and he was like, "You guys got Diamond Supply?" It's like, yeah, we want to give you some Diamond Supply. So we showed him what we had. And it was cool, it worked out. But at first he was so scared that he started running, pushing his daughter's cart, trying to get away from us. So the following year, we thought about, how can we avoid something like that, because, there's, 4 cars following us with goodies and friends, volunteers that want to go out with us and help out. We said, how can we stop that? How can we change that so people are not afraid of us jumping out? So we came up with the idea to buy a Santa suit. So I went on eBay, dude, and bought like a $12 Santa suit. It was like paper mache. It's like sticking to me. And it was the cheapest Santa suit you could buy, So we get to Long Beach, 17th and Wanapero, right? And there's a bunch of apartments right there. There's 2 apartments right there. So we jump out. We got a little car. My Lexus was like a 99 Lexus GS 300, just filled to the top, with stuff. Jump out, and some look right, and he comes down running. He's like, hey, he's letting everybody know in the apartment, hey, Santa. So he runs down and he comes straight to me and he says, "Hey, you're the Hood Santa, because Santa Claus don't come here." So when he told us that, I was kind of like, whoa. And then my buddy HJ, he looked at me and was like, "Dude, that's it. You're the Hood Santa, bro. They just baptized you." You know what I mean? This little kid just gave you that moniker. And we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know that it was going to lead to what it is now. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's how that came, and it was cool because it hit me, it was like the way he said it, it was just like, it took me to my childhood, like I never saw Santa, I never saw Santa, you know what I mean? It was just like a myth or whatever, a fairy tale, right? But you would have some neighbors that I had that their parents were a little bit better well off than mine were. They would have new stuff, so new bikes, new toys, and I hardly had any of that. So that's kind of what drove me to start doing this.
Right, and that's what I was going to ask after that. Leading into it, it's where does this drive to help out come from, especially with those particular families that you look for to help?
Yeah, so it all comes from being, growing up poor. When I was 6, my dad committed suicide, and on Christmas Eve. So there was 5 of us. So we pretty much didn't have anything, for Christmas, any of that. Thanksgiving, I didn't even know what Thanksgiving was till I was like maybe 13, 14 years old. We never had no turkey. We didn't have any of that. We had very little to nothing. So my neighbor, which was he's a famous rapper now. His name's Goldie Loke. He's from a group called the East Siders that Snoop Dogg put out, right? Was my childhood neighbor. And his dad worked for the city. He was a trash man. So they always got brand new stuff for Christmas, So I remember waking up on the 25th. open my eyes and being excited to go ride his bike, run over to his house and see the new bikes they had, whatever they were, and taking rides, switching with them. Hey, let me go around the corner. All right, when I come back, you go. So that pushed me to what I'm doing now. Is I started thinking about, there's tons of kids like me, like where I was at, and how do I help? How do I help them? So I started reaching out to a bunch of my friends because I come from a music background. I'm also a music producer. I don't know if you guys know. I don't think I've ever shared this with the post, but I got platinum records and gold records. I got to produce for Snoop Dogg, East Siders, a bunch of the Long Beach, rappers that became big, and so I met a bunch of friends in the clothing industry and skateboarding industry. I'm a skater too, so I got a bunch of friends in the skateboarding world. And Nick Diamond, the owner of Diamond Supply, is a good friend of mine. So I reached out to him and said, "Hey, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know I want to help out some kids." Right? What do you mean? I said, "I don't know, man. I just want to help out kids. Like I want to give them stuff." And he grew up poor too, like most of us, having very little. And he said, "All right, well, let me know what you want. What do you want me to give you?" And I'm like, dude, I don't know, dude. Whatever, whatever's on your heart to give out. So we go and he gives me, I don't know, like 1,000 pair of socks or a little more. Gives me a couple hundred t-shirts, sweaters, hats, hoodies, shoes. And we just started driving around Long Beach and looking for family, families, kids on the corner. Say, hey, look at those kids. There's a mom walking 3 kids. Hey, how you doing, señora? ¿Cómo está? Start talking to them. Le queremos regalar algo. We want to give you something. ¿Qué es? Oh, ropa, clothing. Oh, and the kids, most of the kids, middle school and up, they know what diamond is. A diamond shirt's like $50. You know what I mean? So for them to get one is like, whoa, right? If you don't have any money, so we started doing that, giving them out. And then the following year, HJ and I and Nick Diamond also, we said, okay, we know everybody needs the help, right? We know everybody needs help. So we said, let's target kids that got good grades, right? So I put up on my Instagram, the Hood Santa, right? I said, hey, you guys know any kids, any families that need help? Let me know, right? Of course, I get hundreds of DMs, hundreds of emails. Hey, my brother is in prison. My mom has his 2 kids. My brother's going to do 20 years, whatever, right? My mom's 65. She don't really have much. She's already retired. She's living on her retirement. My nephews are great kids. Okay, cool. Send me the progress report card. And then you get these report cards that come back and they're straight A's, like no days missed, 1 day missed. It's like, whoa, these kids, these are the kids you want to push. These are the kids you want to help out. Right. So we started doing more of that, and we started visiting them, paying them a visit, where we started calling it Diamond Christmas. Right. And, what I would do in HJ is we would coordinate with that family and say, for instance, hey, let's just call the kid Steven, right? Steven got nominated by his uncle, right? And then, what does Steven like? Steven likes skateboarding. And we know a skateboard is $150, right? But we can't get him one. It's too expensive for us. My mom, she can't afford it. Okay, cool. We're going to do that. What else does he like? Well, he likes a tablet. He's a good kid. He usually has to walk to the library to use a computer or whatever. And so we show up with the computer, skateboard, tons of clothing, everything that would get a kid happy and make him feel really proud. And also his family, make them feel like, hey, he deserved this. And, he worked hard for it. And even though they couldn't provide it, somebody helped them get it, And so we do a lot of that. We do it, dude. We do that from the beginning of November all the way to December 25th. Sometimes I'm at people's house on Christmas, bro. Right, giving stuff away. Like it's become that big. And that cool that we get so many kids that get nominated. We also get these cool stories where like, hey bro, I got my little brothers. I got 2 little brothers. The brother's in college already. He's like, I got 2 little brothers. One's like 9th grader and one's 7th grader. The one in 7th grade, he kicks butt, straight A. The one in 9th grade, he's kind of giving my mom a hard time now. He gets he might have two D's and the rest will be B's and A's, right? So we go pay them a visit, right? And then we hook up the little kid with straight A's. We find out what they like, the same thing. We go in there with like $3,000-$4,000 worth of product items, right? And the kid in the 7th grade say, hey man, guess what? Your big brother nominated you. He sent us all your school stuff. You're killing it, dude. Keep up the good work. You know what I mean? You're doing awesome, right? Here you go. And then the other brother's looking at us like, hey, what about me? And then we say, oh, we got something for you. Here's a hat. Here's a hoodie. But dude, you're blowing it. Because if you would have had straight A's like your mom and your brother were telling you to, you would have got the same thing your little brother got, right? So then they say, hey, what if I get straight A's? Or what if I change? What if I do the work? I say, okay, if you do the work, we'll shake on it right now. I'll be back, right? So they start doing it, dude. They start sending me photos of the progress reports on Instagram. You start seeing that D, C, C minus, C, B, B, B minus, B, A, and then it's like, hey, when it gets closer to when the Hood Santa goes out, keep those grades, and I'm coming back. And sure enough, we've probably done maybe 8 of those now that saw the beginning that they missed out on, become a part of it, and it's cool because you get to see that sometimes those little things that might be small to us as adults now, to those kids, that's like fire, inspiration to say, hey bro, I want an iPad, or like, dang, what do I have to do? What, just do my work? Like, I'm and so we hook them up, and it's grown to a pretty cool thing now where it's like we get submissions.
Moving. So obviously, like this is definitely continued because we some of our colleagues here worked on a story about a gentleman with, I believe it's five girls.
Yeah.
And with the whole pandemic going on, a lot of them having to do school now at home. And so after that story was published, we know that we received a lot of inquiry from readers asking, hey, how do we help out? How can we get involved? And we believe there's individuals out there better equipped to do that. And that's when I believe you stepped in, and you were able to get them bunk beds for the girls to be able to have. Can you kind of talk about how that?
Yeah. So so Thomas, Thomas, who takes photos, right, for the post. Thomas became a good friend of mine, from doing stuff together here with you guys. So he sends me a message. He says, hey, Jesse, the Alcala family, we're going to do a story about them. Can you kind of set it up? Or yeah, no problem. That's cool. He needs the help. It's a single father. He's got 5 girls, right? It's tough, and I met him at our events. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, so you guys started sending people that read the story and wanted to contribute to Jesse's family and help. They started coming to me saying, hey, we got referred to you by the Long Beach Post. What does Jesse need? What can we do for him? We want to help out. So I was like, well, let me talk to him because, who knows? He might need some help with rent. He might need some help with groceries. We don't know. It's hard for me to say so. So I called Jesse. I say, hey, Jesse, what's up, dude? Hey, the Post, they shared that story and they got a bunch of people that want to help out. They want to, help you guys donate some goodies. I don't really know what are you in need of? And I thought most people, bro, they'll take advantage. You know what I mean? I think that's something that's special about Jesse that he doesn't, most people would be like, hey, why do you need money? That's kind of the first thing that everybody always says, and I'm only talking from experience because this is what I do, and so I said, hey, what do you need help with? And he was like, you know what, man, honestly, we need a bunk bed. because the girls are getting bigger, you know. And I said, all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna talk to his name was Johnny, the guy. He wanted to be anonymous, but his name's Johnny. He reached out to me, and I said, hey, can you call me? He gave him my number. He calls me up. I tell him what Jesse says, and he says, all right, man, I'm gonna put it on my neighborhood watch app. I think it's called that, Neighborhood Watch. And he was able to raise a couple $100. And we had another lady named Cindy who called me too and said, hey, I got $100 too. So then my nonprofit, we added what was needed, which was not much, like 250 or something. And we went to a furniture store right there on Anaheim and like MLK. I don't remember the name of it. We walked in and Jesse was trying to just get the cheapest one. I said, no, bro. No, we're going to get you something good, something wood. You know, he wanted like the metal one. You know, I'm like, no, bro, we want the girls to get some rest and something cool for you guys. So we ended up buying him something cool, you know, and Jesse was so grateful and so happy that people stepped up and did that for him, you know.
And Jesse's story is actually just one of the more recent ones that we've had. I believe recently there was Pedro, the paletero, the ice cream vendor that is deaf, and was working pretty hard near the schools before the pandemic. And then once the pandemic hit, obviously children had to go to school from home.
Yeah.
So a lot of his clientele, and you guys really stepped in and helped him out with that.
Yeah.
How's Pedro doing? I know recently, I think you had an update on his story, but can you kind of talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so I met Pedro like, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago, right? I bought an ice cream from him and I noticed that he was deaf, you know, and he really couldn't talk, you know, more like sign language stuff, you know. So that stuck to me, you know. I was thinking about him like man, this guy's motivated, you know, this guy's driven, like he's out. Think about it. You to sell ice cream, people are calling you to get you to stop, right? They're saying, hey, paletero, ice cream, give me one. He can't even hear that, right? And he's still doing it. So I was like thinking, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, right? So that stuck with me. So when the pandemic hit, it came back to me like, I wonder what he's doing. I wonder what he's up to. How is he surviving? Don't really know, like, is he married? Does he, you know, he's an adult. He's got to pay bills. He's got to have some kind of bills, right? So I started thinking, what can we do to help this guy? Like, let's do something cool to help him. So we came up with this idea called Buy Out Pedro. And it was kind of a twist off. I don't know if you've seen the movie Napoleon Dynamite, but they had a shirt that said vote for Pedro, which was Napoleon Dynamite's little buddy, right? So we kind of took that and changed it around and called it Buy Out Pedro. And we shared it on Instagram. And Fools Gone Wild shared it. George Lopez shared it. Felipe Esparza shared it. And it took off. So we were able to do something at Shoreline Village, just kind of guerrilla style. We set up a tent and just put on Instagram, hey, we'll be here on this date from this time to this time. Show up and show Pedro some love. And it was a success, right? So they bought out Pedro. And then we also did him a GoFundMe. And we raised him $5,000. So probably Friday we're gonna go. Maybe you guys want to go with us and give him his check for $5,000. You know, and you know, it's one of those things like the pandemic is hit so many people. You know, in different ways. Him too. You know, and sometimes the people don't think about the smaller people. You know, so yeah. So then. We wanted to do something special for him, and I think the goal was accomplished. You know, his family was so happy and so grateful that we were doing something for him. You know, they were super thankful. When we were done, the dad pulled me to the side and like you know, it was we had a good moment. You know, he said, "Hey, you know, you're like family to us now. Like, I don't want you I hope this is not the last time that we see you because this is amazing that you did this for our son." You know, our son, you know, he's been going through a hard time his whole life. So for something cool to happen like this for him and for him to see that people love him, people want to support him, people like what he's doing is amazing. And we want to thank you. They actually took, that's cool, bro. Check this out. So we walk in with a bag of McDonald's, right? Because I drove Pedro back, and his other son, his brother, and the dad takes their McDonald's away to give it to me to feed me, you know. And but it made me think on like how cool that the family is. All of them, the brothers, all of them, they're all like, they're a good family. You know, most my son would have been like, hey, dad, that's my food, don't give that away. My daughter would have been that way too, you know. They just took it and they gave it to me. I said, hey, no, I just ate, you know. But that's what kind of people they are, you know. They're good people. Very happy that we were able to help, you know, in any way, you know.
Right. And this being a live chat, we do have some viewers and some questions can roll in. And we actually had
Okay.
a question come in. How do we nominate kids? And I believe this goes back to the nominations you were talking about. How does that work?
So to nominate them, send me a message on my Instagram at the Hood Santa. It's pretty easy. I respond to everybody because you just never know what people are going through, and you know, something that I could have laying around the house could be a big thing for somebody else. So that's kind of my.
If someone doesn't have an Instagram, would maybe through Local Hearts Foundation?
Yeah, you can you can go on to our website, which is www.localheartsfoundation.org, and we have a team. We have HJ who handles all that kind of stuff, and we respond to everybody. If you want to volunteer and you want to be informed on all the events that we got coming up, go on there, and we got a volunteer button that we send out as events get closer to the date, where we say, hey, we got a turkey event coming. If you want to volunteer, sign up. And it's been good, man. You know, the city of Long Beach, it's cool because it seems like we stick together, you know, when it comes to these things. When it comes to families in need, children in need, it seems like we form like Voltron and we come together, you know. And it's cool. It's cool. It's cool for us because we get to it's growing socially, like on social media, but we are so small as a nonprofit. We don't have an office, we don't have a van. Everything is still done out of our cars. Everything's done at home. My wife responds to emails, you know, I do. We're looking for an office, you know, if any of the viewers have some space they want to rent out, or also we're in need of a van, like really bad. You know, we have a GoFundMe up. Also, I started doing some on my own, where you know, on my own my social media Instagram, where I came up with this math in my head that if I can get 450 people to donate $30, I think that would raise like $13,000, and that would get us a van, you know. Because you know, I know a lot of people. I was getting a lot of messages about, hey, dude, I don't know about GoFundMe. They want all my information. So I just started telling people, hey, Venmo the Hood Santa, and we'll keep track of it. And you know, and I think I've raised like $1,600 doing that. So people want to help, you know, and that's the thing, you know. It's for us to continue to help people, we need people to help us. You know, we need people to jump in, and any amount, big or small, bro, it all goes back into the community. It all goes back into helping families, you know. And we make sure that you know, we got a massive turkey event we're putting together this year again. Last year we did 1,013 turkeys at MacArthur Park. We gave out, you know, I hate to talk about money, but I guess that's the only way to make it sound simple and easy. We probably gave out maybe like $300,000 worth of diamond supply. We had, I don't know, maybe 1,000 bags, diamond supply bags filled with like 6-7 items each. You know, we had hats, I think wallets. It was all based on sizes. You know, so they come through the line, they get a turkey, and then my wife or my daughter or volunteers, whoever's in charge of that station, says, hey, what size are you? I'm a small. Oh, here you go, you know. And the kids get fired up, you know. It's brand new clothes, and then we also know it's going to get cold, so we try to get them a lot of hoodies, a lot of sweaters, because we know it's about to start getting cold, just so they have something to stay warm in through the holidays. We get shoes, but it's all community coming together. And that's the beauty of it, dude. Sometimes I'm going crazy, Sebastian. I'm like, come up with these numbers. I'm like, we're gonna do 1,000 turkeys, and then the team is like, what? Like, how? We don't even have one. You know, it's like, how are you coming up with these crazy numbers, dude? I'm like, well, I opened my big mouth. Now we got to do it. So I'm just everywhere, you know, trying to talk to people to get involved. And thanks to you guys, you know, a lot of people come from you guys, especially like when you guys did the story. I don't remember exactly. Maybe it was I think it was our first turkey event that we did there. You guys actually tagged me like at the Hood Santa is doing this. And I had so many volunteers come from that. Over maybe like 200 volunteers said, hey, I'm from the Post. I came from the Long Beach Post. I read the story. How do I volunteer? So like, you know, you guys sharing and you guys doing that, it creates something cool for us, you know, a platform for us to do more, to be able to help more.
And I know you touched on it a little bit, but maybe we can kind of expand a bit more. What are some of the challenges that you guys face trying to put this together? Any obstacles that get in the way, and how do you get around that?
Dude, it's you know, the toughest challenge is raising funds. You know, it's always raising money to do these events, and you know, you you got your go-to, you know, companies like Diamond. You know, if it wasn't for Diamond, Nick Diamond, uh, I don't think that we would be able to do things the way we've done on a massive scale. You know, you've been to our events, and you've seen that, you know, we have a couple city blocks long of a line, you know, 1,000, 12, 1,500 people. Of him not, you know, stepping up and contributing financially, uh, and also with products, you know, it would be hard. You know, it wouldn't be what it is now. So it's always finding people that want to donate. That's the hardest challenge. Our biggest challenge is getting people to say, hey, we want to help you buy turkeys. You know, this year we're teaming up with a company called Trace 3. It's a tech company, and they're doing something between themselves where they're all challenging each other to donate to Local Hearts for the Thanksgiving event. So it's cool, you know. Hopefully, we get to raise a few $1,000 with them, and then you know, the goal is to do, you know, 1,000 turkeys again. You know, is I think that number is good for that area. You know, they go like that. They go like that. You know, it's not enough. I wish we could do more. But yeah, that's our challenge, man. Is that, and a van is probably the next big thing, because sometimes we get these calls like, hey, Tito, can you pick this up? Can you come right now? Right? And let's say it's shoes. It's, hey, we got 700 pair of shoes, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go. And then I'm like, you know, how am I gonna bring them back, right? So I start going online. I'm like calling U-Haul. Hey, do you guys got a van? Do you guys got a box truck? Hey, we're all out. And it's like, it's gone, because they need it gone. They need it out that day or whatever. So they go to the next person. And then, you know, I end up feeling bad, because I'm like, dang, that's 500 shoes for the kids in Long Beach, you know, that we could have gave out, or, you know, whatever, you know, like, dude, I just picked up 2 tons of soap, like 2 tons of soap from Dr. Squatch. You know, they donated. So we just did a back to school supply giveaway, you know, school supply giveaway, because kids are learning remotely from school. And I think you guys covered it. You guys did something on it, or you guys shared it. They donated 2 tons of soap to that. And what we did is we bagged them up, and we put 5 in a bag, and we gave out the school supplies, and we gave out bags of soap, and then we had Amazon tablets that we put randomly in some bags, you know. So some kids got to get some tablets. Everybody got soap, dude, and every kid got school supplies. But dude, I didn't know how bad the need is, you know, right now, COVID, you know, learning from home. Like, dude, we gave out 700 or 750 bags in less than an hour. They were gone in less than an hour.
I think that kind of calls into a question I wanted to ask is, you know, when you're out there on the ground, what are you seeing? Because you really don't expect to hear that kind of need. I mean, from Long Beach, a highly developed city, what are you seeing on the ground that people need help? What communities are you in?
Well, I was born and raised in the 6th district. I live on 15th and Peterson, 15th and Walnut, between those two streets, right? So, you know, I drive around Long Beach and it's like, you're in this area, it's super nice. You go to this other park, this park's beautiful. You go to that park, and the park I grew up in is still, it's like forgotten. So 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I went there and I just drove around and I was like, man, it looks so depressing right here. It looks like there's nothing going on. So I parked and then I walked inside and I knocked on the door and I met Heather, she's in charge of that park. And I said, hey, my name's Tito. I grew up at this park. I used to eat summer lunches here. I remember those little box pizzas. I started reminiscing. She's laughing. I'm like, hey, I'm the president of a foundation, local arts foundation, and this is my park. I started sharing about when my dad passed away that my mom used to send me to that park, probably so she can cry in private, and for me not to be there while they're trying to move on or whatever, right? So I was at the park every day. It was a getaway for me. So when I drove by there, I didn't see no kids, I didn't see no families, I didn't see nobody running around playing football, soccer. I was like, what's going on here? Like, so I went in there and said, hey, I want to help out. I want to do I think the first event we did was a back to school giveaway. And she lit up. She was like, really? Nobody comes here and offers to do this here. I said, well, let's shake on it. We're partners now. Like, I'm going to do all my events here because you guys need it. This park is like, seems like nobody comes here. It's just forgotten, right? It looks like there's a dark cloud over it and nobody wants to come hang. Let's change that. Let's bring out the community. Let's get them to engage with each other. Let's get them to meet each other. And doing these events, I learned that, when people come out, they need something, right? They're both in need, so they can kind of relate. So I figured they can talk to each other and say, hey, I live right here, live right there. And they can become friends, and let's bring some of that back into Long Beach, you know what I mean? The connection. I felt like it was missing, So we've been doing that there, the events. We've done school supplies. We've done turkey. We've done last year, dude. We had the biggest event we've ever pulled off. Was December 24th, Christmas Eve, dude. We gave out roughly. We teamed up with my buddy Doyle and Nate. They have a company based out of Long Beach too. I need to connect you with them. These guys are rad. They're called SOS Booking, right? So they do this big punk rock festival. It's like straight edge punk rockers, right? And they've been doing it 8 years. It's called For the Children. So what they do is they sell, it's a 3-day event, and they sell tickets, VIP tickets. They sell regular tickets. And everybody who buys a ticket every day has to bring a toy. So you could go to the door and say, hey, I'm a VIP. They'll be like, oh, that's cool. Target's over there. Go bring a toy. You can't come in till you bring a toy. So, dude, they raised like $40,000 in toys. And we had our bunch, and we had raised too. So I don't know, we had roughly $45,000, $50,000 worth of toys. So we had so many toys, dude, that, our event was from like 10 to 2, about maybe 12 o'clock, right? We were letting kids take 5, 6 toys, and we're talking about like Star Wars, PlayStations. We had bikes. Dude, it was incredible, and again, it's all comes from good-hearted people, cool people, that want to give back. It's I gotta say, and it's us who's gonna save us. It's always that way.
And I was gonna say, and on that note, I think we're actually hitting that time. But I think we did share the link to Local Hearts, which has that volunteer button you're talking about.
Yeah.
For folks that are interested who want to reach out. But yeah, Tito, if there's any closing remarks as we wrap this up here. Anything?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you guys. You guys have always been supportive, and like I said earlier before we get on, I'm so happy to be on, on this platform and share good news, because we get so much bad news every day. So keep up the good work, Sebastian. I see you in the streets, buddy.
Thank you so much, Tito. And for our viewers, thanks so much for being here with us. Again, if you enjoy these sort of live chats and you want to support us, feel free to visit lbpost.com/support. And yeah, well, Tito, again, thank you so much for joining us.
All right, guys. Thank you.